Our today's topic will be disaster management. Now you turn your book to page 305. Let's start with what is a disaster. A disaster is termed as a sudden or slow disruptions to community life caused by natural or human-made calamities. Okay, first let's see human-made disaster. This includes nuclear, biologicals, and chemicals. So what do you mean by this human-made disaster? Let's see here. Human-made disasters are defined as threats including within them and elements of this human intent, negligence, or error. So such disaster involve the complete failure of a human-made system resulting in colossal loss of life and property, and they destroy a person's mental, physical, and social well-being. And next we go to this nuclear disaster. Nuclear power industry is a high risk industry. This industry was developed because initially it was thought that it would be a more dependable source of energy which could be used for these peaceful purposes like for the developments of this agriculture, industry, medicines, and many more. And these developments of this nuclear energy took place in the latter half of this 20th century. So if adequate safeguards in nuclear power plants are not taken, then accident may occur, and such accident cause widespread disaster. And not only this accident, but disposal of use of this nuclear fuel and other radioactive waste is another major problem which has become a health hazard. So this nuclear power industry is increasingly becoming dangerous to human being, isn't it? So in order to protect ourselves from this nuclear disaster, we should stay inside and should keep informed about the government plans and act in accordance with these officials communications. Okay, and now we go to this biological disaster. Biological disaster spread through this organism that is developed in the forms of these bacteria or these microbes. These biological agents or germs spread fast in the environment and affect people. And these germs pass from this one person to another, and they cause communicable disease which spread, and often they take the shapes of these epidemics. Epidemics means silang kantika mo. So these biological agents or these germs are microscopic, means they are very small living organisms which affect man and initiates the process of this disease in him. So these germs enter human body mainly by inhalations or through cuts or wounds on the body. So once inside the host body, these microbes start affecting the immune system and consequently breaks it down. Okay, see, the water that we use every day plays a major role in the spread of these biological agents. Okay, and the lacks of these proper sanitation facilities is a major cause for the spread of this disease. And this, let's go to chemical disaster. A chemical disaster is the unintentional release of one or more hazardous substances which could harm human health and the environment. Chemical hazards are systems where chemical accident could occur under certain circumstances. Like such events includes this fire, explosion, leakage, or this release of toxin or hazardous materials that can cause people illness, injury, or disability. And now let's see disaster preventions and mitigations. Preventions is to ensure that human actions or natural phenomena do not result in disaster or emergency. So the primary preventions is to reduce, avert, avoid the risks of this event occurring by getting rid of these hazards or this vulnerability. Okay, And now let's see these common hazard preventions and mitigations. Common hazards includes earthquake, floods, drought, cyclones, landslide. And next, preventions and mitigations. Disaster mitigations measures may be structural. Example, flood dikes, or non-structural. Example, land use zoning. Mitigations activities should incorporate the measures and assessment of the evolving risk environment. Activities may include the creations of these comprehensive proactive tools that help decide where to focus these fundings and efforts in the risk reductions. Okay, and let's see other examples of these mitigations measures. Okay, this includes hazards mapping, adoptions and enforcement of land use and zoning practices, and this implementing and enforcing building codes. Then floods plant mapping should be done, and then reinforce tornado safe rooms and borings of these electrical cables to prevent ice buildup and rising of homes in the flood prone areas, and disaster mitigations public awareness program and insurance programs should be done. And let's see here, disaster preparedness plan. The first step is to make people aware of any possible disaster. People should be informed about the possible hazards to the area they lived in. Education is another important tool to spread this awareness among the people, and there should also be an effective communication system to the entire community. Okay, this helps a lot. Okay, and lastly, community-based disaster management. Community have to be educated, trained, and prepared to face these disasters. They should be given first-hand knowledge in first aid and rescue operations. Community participations in constructions of these dams, tanks, afforestations, and this efficient water management should also taken up. This means that community uh, plays a very important roles in this managing this disaster. Okay, khati zong kha voina kan explain thei chu nia chuan in homework tur chu very short answer question 1 to 10 hi karon pedon chewa chuan in short answer question number 1 to 5 kha in lo ba hat vek ton nia o in nota documents in karam piang cheunga in nota in lo ziak thlap vek anga chuan in lo ba hat vek don nia. Thank you all.